Welcome, everybody. I believe I'm on. Yes. So, I'm glad to be here, and I hope you are too. Today is that day. Yes, today is the 22nd of September of 2022. Look at all those twos in there. Many of you know or may not know I am a numerologist, have been one for 48 years, long time. Anyway, what I'm going to talk about today is this very interesting topic title that I came up with. And that title is Roses Are Red, Violets Are Blue. That's the main topic. The subtopic is if you love yourself more, then everything your heart desires comes attracted to you. And we know self love is something that we all need all the time. Self love. It often, we might think that when we're out here doing things in the world, like think for instance, this is is it the fall equinox? All right. I'm so out of sync with time. I don't remember if it was yesterday or today, but nonetheless, it's a very powerful time, right? It's a powerful time of equalization, of balance, of the autumn time is what? Spiritual maturity. And so we feel that energy growing on us at the same time. And we're always striving to do what? To do better, to be a better version today than we were yesterday or a week before. So we're always striving to do better. But sometimes it's just best to do what? Do your best to be yourself. But in order to be yourself, you have to uncover some things and so that you can kind of find out who you are. Well, I'm Brother Francis E. Revels-Bey. I'm your podcast host here for my podcast, Clear Blue Radiance. And I'm here on the Resonant Essentials YouTube channel. I try to be on here every Thursday at about 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, which is 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're in the central time zone, it's 2 p.m. And if you're on the West Coast enjoying weather out there, then it's 12 noon. Well, when I come on with these topics, I feel that these are topics not only that I have experienced, but that many of you have experienced as well. I've been a spiritual counselor for 40 plus years. And so, what I strive to do with everybody is to help you gain greater clarity in your life with yourself so that you can discover your purpose in life. Now, purposes change. That's right. Your purpose changes as you change, just like the energy of your chakras change. You take one of those curly in, or better yet, the aura photography shots, and for the moment, it captures a particular color or stream of colors. But those chakra energies are connected to your thoughts and your feelings and the overall health of your body. So, what's happening is those colors are changing all the time. Your purpose does the same. Your purpose may be with you for 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years, and then all of a sudden you want to go in a different path. You choose to do something different for yourself, and that's okay. We often don't have the same purpose track. We're not always on the same track all the time, but we're striving to open up the doors on that track, to have a bigger vision for ourselves, dream bigger for ourselves. That's what our life is about. So when I thought about this title, it kind of came to me. Roses are red, violets are blue. Now, when you think of it, you've heard that when you were much younger in your years. You may have heard it somebody trying to get someone's attention by that phrase. Think of it. Roses are red. Usually, when a guy goes out on a date, or a gentleman and his wife have been doing their dating nights several times a month, roses are red. They're not any other color but red. Why? Because talking about romance, but symbolically the heart. The heart is romance, right? Valor, courage, the ability to initiate things. So roses are red. But then they say violets are all blue. Well, some of the violets I've seen, if you talk about the word violet, is more of an indigo blue or a little bit more purple, violet colored range. You've seen those images out there on the internet where they show you a grove where there's nothing but violets, there's nothing but purple shades for miles. But when you think of this topic, subtly, I'm saying something to you. Red, since it deals with the heart, but red is a root chakra color, is an action oriented color. So that's why the subtitle is If You Love Yourself More. Well, let's deal with that part because it says if you love yourself more, then everything your heart desires becomes attracted to you. This is something that we do every day. We go up and down the ladder of emotions, up and down the ladder with our mind. And our emotions and our mind affect our bodies physically and affects our life exponentially. We are seeing ourselves go up and down, up and down. News media takes you up and down. Sports takes you up and down. Your favorite team could be winning. Your favorite team could be losing. And your emotions are involved. You get excited. It's entertainment, but you get really excited. Why? Because you get a chance to take time away from yourself and put it on something else. Maybe movies that we watch can drain us, can tap into our thoughts about ourselves, our feelings. So often, this phrase is really meant for you to comprehend how you see yourself. What are you doing to love yourself more? Maybe you giving yourself more material treats. Maybe those material treats could be, well, I want a better car, or I want some new furniture in my house, or for me, I want some crystals. I need some more crystals in my house. Or I just need sleep. I need more rest. I need time. Take a mental illness day, right? You take time off to yourself to regather your thoughts, to clear your mind of things that are pressing or things that you allow to be pressed upon yourself. We don't have to carry burdens around. As it's true, we are creating our lives all the time. We're the ones that are creating the burdens that show up and we don't pay a bill on time, or you never pay one, or you're struggling. You're so far behind, you seem like you can't catch up to rent or mortgage or car payment. You feel like some of these I gotta let go. Some of the things I used to use to entertain myself, I gotta stop. Why? It's too much of a burden. And when you let some of those things go, you feel lighter. Just like when you clean your home, you feel the energy shift. When you declutter your home, you feel the energy shift. Declutter your mind, and here the energy shifts. You don't want to carry a burden. You don't want to do that. You might carry your share of burdens, but you cannot carry everybody else's burdens. Too much of everybody else's stuff weighs you down, gets you mentally out of sorts, emotionally out of sorts. The next thing you know, you're angry about stuff, and so forth and so on. So, what do you want to do? You want to take things and reshape them. So, when this title says roses are red, violets are blue, how are you spending time to be in love with you? What are you doing to bring a sense of unconditional love to yourself? Unconditional means no strings attached. Unconditional means you're not going to weigh yourself down. You're going to lighten your load. When you begin to lighten your load, what does that do for you? Well, one, you start feeling a lot better about yourself. That's one thing. Feel better about yourself. When you feel better about yourself, you start doing better for yourself. You start learning how to say no, and you mean it. Like, we all have some people around us sometimes that they want to be all in your space. They know you have a good heart, an open heart, and they know maybe they can talk you into doing things for them. And you might love doing things for them. You might like doing things for other people. But people should not take advantage of you, and you cannot let others take advantage. Look at us now. Many of us who are seniors, there's still people out there trying to get their way with you instead of honoring who you are, respecting who you are. But that only starts with yourself. When you get tired, as my late mom would say, the riffraff hanging around, when you get tired with the gimme, gimme, gimmes hanging around you, then you make the change. You know, when you give too much of your energy to other people, what happens? They rarely have time for you. Have you noticed that? Sometimes people calling you up all the time, hey, how you doing? But then they start talking about their problems. With their husbands, their wives, their children, their neighbors. There's no time for you to get a word into that conversation about how you're doing. That's what they ask. They ask them, how are you doing? But the minute you start talking, they cut you out of the conversation. They talk over you. Sometimes it's best to have no friends or one or two friends. You don't need a whole boatload. You don't need a baseball, basketball team, football organization as friends. You only need true friends, a few of them. So let's start retraining ourselves in the heart and in the mind to only put in our lives what is healthy for us. Not just the food you take in. I'm talking about the words you take in. You got to watch what kind of words people use to describe you with and what kind of words you might describe yourself with. We have to change. You've got to change the outlook on yourself because when you change the outlook on yourself, you start changing how you respond to things going on outside of your home, outside of your physical space, your auric field, and outside of your physical body. You no longer take on other people's issues or problems. You will decide when to listen to them and how much you're going to listen to. I remember my late mother one time pointing out to me a person that was not close to her at all, but used to try to hang with her and her friends. Because my mother had a collection of friends who were spiritual in their own way, metaphysical in their own way, but they all loved sitting down and learning tarot card reading, dreams. That's what they were into. My mother was into that too. And she mentioned this one person in this group. And I saw the person sparingly. My mother said, you know, the day that my body is in the casket, even before then, she may hear about it and she's going to want a front row seat at my funeral. And son, I don't want you letting her interrupt this funeral because she will do it. Why? Because she's a dramatic queen. She's the person that is not there for anybody else other than herself. There's a reason I never invited her over. There's a reason I never went over to her place. But she's going to come to the funeral with a full regalia of tears. And she's going to cry, oh, Grace, I miss you. Blah, blah. I'm letting you know now. We have never been close. but she's going to play it up. Why? Because she wants attention. So sometimes roses are red and violets are blue. Got to watch out who's true to you. That's right. You have to watch out who's being true to you. You know, a real friend is someone where you could have some headbutts every now and then, but you know that friend loves you like you love them. Why? Because you're true to each other. You're not playing a game with each other. You learn how to respect each other. You learn how to be supportive to each other. I'm going to say it again. Roses are red, violets are blue. It's best for you to find out who is truly, truly in love with you, who is truly respecting you. Hey, Barbara, how you doing? It's something when we go through life, right? Thinking that everybody loves us. Sometimes we go through life seeking validation through other people. Sometimes that's okay, especially if the people are mentors to you on some level. But I can tell you, there's some people out there who want to be spiritual mentors, life coaches, transformational coaches, but they don't live up to what they're talking about. They don't even let you know what they're going through. The way you carry yourself, the way you love yourself has more value, has more value than anything else on the planet. Because you learn from life's experiences. People always say, well, what university did that person go to? And they'll tell you, the University of Hard Knocks. They didn't get a diploma in a piece of paper. They got theirs earned in the street, everyday experience. And many of us do that. And many of us can have that golden college degree. Still got to go through it. I remember one of my mother's young brothers used to say, that person is so degreed up. I said, what do you mean by that, Uncle Ansel? We used to call him Uncle Ham because he used to tell jokes all the time. I said, what do you mean by that, Uncle Ansel, Uncle Ham? You go in that person's house, and they got all of these degrees on the wall. A degree in theology, a degree in law, a degree in accounting, got all of these degrees. But can't put them, none of them in action. I said, what do you mean? They got degrees on their wall. I just saw them. Uncle Ham, I just saw a guy got 5 or 6 degrees. He said, but yeah, what is he doing with those degrees? And I started to think about it. It was not only his friend, but his friend's son, who was always bragging about these degrees that he had, but yet couldn't keep a job. And the job was geared to his degree. And it found out it was the son's attitude. And there was a reason to think about that because the son had similar degrees to the father, but the father never hired the son. Why? Because of his attitude, his work ethics. He would say all the time, I've been teaching him to be on time. I put him in team sports so he can learn how to work together as a crew of people. I put him in my jobs. I started him from the lower up to the higher, but he would storm off the job because he didn't want to sweep a floor. He didn't want to deliver mail. He didn't want to be a courier. Some of the basic things. So, the second part of that title, if you love yourself more, we got to love ourselves more. We can't wait for someone to say, I love you. We can't wait for someone to say, I'm here to validate you. No, you got to put the love on yourself. This is why I say this technique I have, this mirror technique. Sometimes I use it even when I'm not feeling up to doing it. But I go to the mirror and I'm going to act like this is the mirror. I go to the mirror. I said, you know what, Brother Francis? You're all right. And then I wait to see if I believe what I just said. Because sometimes you could say something about yourself, but deep down inside, you don't believe it. yourself. This equates with what metaphysical New Thought teachers have been teaching since the 20s and the 30s to the present. They say, Reverend Ike used to say it this way to his congregation. He used to say, if you want to have a fancy wardrobe, take the wardrobe you got and start dressing like it. Go someplace. He said, it don't have to be someplace expensive, but buy some nice clothes for yourself and start dressing the part. Why? Because you're building up your psyche. You're building up the internal man or woman to get past this old side of yourself to step into the new side of yourself. So it's about changing your consciousness. Even before you can have higher consciousness, you got to correct the consciousness down here. Here's another way that currently alive and still kicking, Reverend Dr. Michael Bernard Beckwith of his Agape University Center out west. He would say it like this: everybody wants to get in touch with an ascended master. And he would say, well, what about the descended master? What about the one who's already walking around you? Nobody's paying attention to the descended, the one who came down just like yourself into this earthly plane, to be born in this plane, to develop oneself to a higher standard for you to see. But you want to see the one that left. It is the same thing. Before, we're all seeking to have a higher consciousness, to live above where we are at in order to attract higher forces, higher beings. But before we can attract them, we have to embed that kind of consciousness between these two, between your right and left temple. You got to feel that living. You got to feel that way. When you can convince yourself that you feel better, you're going to be better, you're going to do better. And inch by inch, as Reverend Ike used to say, inch by inch, it's a cinch, meaning you take little steps and you exercise those little steps. Do you know that when you get up in the morning, one of the things we got to remember when we get up in the morning is love ourselves. Before you go to sleep at night, love yourself. Tell yourself good thoughts before you go to sleep. Have good feelings before you go to sleep. That way you start to trigger that dream world. Because the ancestors say, when you're in the dream world, that is the real world. That is where you are making things, you are preparing things when you get up to carry out. In other words, you don't want to go off and have a dream that's got all this stuff in there that you can't do anything with at the moment. So you want to use the dream world consciously. If you can awaken in your dream, consciously wake up and change the scenario. See everybody treating you different and you treat them different. See somebody that should be giving you a raise that didn't give you a raise last year, see him give you a raise this year. Or see yourself doing that business you always wanted to do. Now you're out there doing the business. You are allowing yourself to do what? To achieve at a higher rate of being for yourself. So, if roses are red and violets are blue, if you love yourself more than everything your heart desires, the word desire is desire, from the Father, from that which you are a part of. The God, Goddess energy, stream of consciousness, that's your heart's desire. To walk in the light of God itself, to know that you are that God, you just are unaware that you are God. All of us are. We're seeking to pray to a force outside of ourselves that's actually on the inside, call your higher self. Like, I'm right here, man. I'm right here, woman. I'm right here. You're trying to connect to me outside, but I'm right here. Talk to me. Love me. And I will love you back immensely. See, everything your heart desires now becomes attracted to you. It attracts itself to you. It becomes you. You become it. The consciousness changes for the better. We do what? Evolve. We change. We transform. So try that. Try looking in a mirror at yourself and go, you know what? I love you. Actually point at yourself. You know what? I love you. I love you so much. I just can't wait for you to have that breakthrough. In fact, we're going to have that breakthrough together. So you're treating the person in the mirror, the reflection of yourself, as your higher self talking back to you. And that's why you say a few things and you stop and you feel that vibration and you listen. You're not going to go, self, I want you to change. You're going to use your own name, say change. Let's not doubt ourselves anymore. In fact, I'm overflowing with self-love, unconditional love, self-respect. I have a higher key to guidance. I have higher consciousness. I've had it before. I got it now. I hear everything I'm supposed to hear. I can listen clearly. I can articulate. I can speak my truths clearly into the ethers because the ethers are nothing more but an extension of myself. Then there's that part, like one of my spiritual daughters called me this morning. She was struggling with her mortgage. And she puts a thing up, says, Papa, they sent me this thing a couple of weeks ago. And I looked at it when I woke up and I said, okay, what could I tell her so that she calms down? I says, daughter dear, yeah, they sent that to you. It's a reminder they're working on it. Remember, we want to see the end result. We don't care about the little stuff in between. We want to see your mortgage company say things have been taken care of and you don't have to pay nothing until December 1st, or you don't have to pay nothing until January 1st. Everything has been taken for back and forward. Well, imagine your higher self giving you a letter every day saying, I'm presenting this new life to you. But in order to achieve it, in order to attract it into your life, you must do what? Love yourself more. Be in a state of gratitude. Be thankful that you're still here and can achieve. And you are achieving. So when you go look in the mirror at yourself, you're boosting up your energy. You're making yourself feel better about yourself. You're making yourself think beyond the things that didn't work out. Think beyond the people that didn't help you and step into the light, the true light of who you are. So when you hear this phrase, and I'm going to say it again, roses are red, violets are blue. If you love yourself more than everything your heart desires becomes attracted to you. That means because you're loving yourself more, you automatically do what? Raise the energy field around you. You raise the energy of your aura to accept higher things, higher opportunities, higher possibilities, infinite possibilities. Like a friend of mine back east, a minister friend of mine back east, he came up with this phrase. He says, uncommon possibilities. Uncommon, not the norm, beyond the norm, rare opportunity. And you're in the right place at the right time to what? Not only experience, but enjoy it. So we have to turn our thoughts around. We have to decide that we're going to do better. We're going to think better. We're going to feel better, even when we're having a rough time. And I know we all have them. I have them too. I'm not perfect. I'm just bold enough to share my ups and my downs. Now, I'm not releasing my burdens on you, but I'm just putting them out there and saying that which appears to be perfect in front of you isn't. So don't look at me as a perfect master. Yes, I've been doing spiritual counseling for 48 years. I said more than 40 years, 48 years. But that doesn't mean I've mastered everything I need to master with myself. I'm still learning, but I have to stay open in order to have a higher consciousness, to live at a higher pace for myself. I'm not trying to live like a Dr. Michael Beckwith. I'm not trying to live like a TD Jakes. I'm not trying to live like a Oprah Winfrey. I'm not trying to live like a Idris Elba or a Michael Easley or Tay Diggs. I'm just trying to live as Brother Francis E. Revels-Bey within me, within my universe. I'm here to speak it into reality. But while I'm speaking it into reality, the fifth chakra is the throat. Speak it into reality. I got to listen to upstairs, things coming in. I'm hearing things coming from my cells are trying to give me the keys. I'm listening, and then I'm carrying it out. What we're all seeking to do is to be better, but the key is love ourselves more. Because now, when you love yourself more, things outside of you, someone calls you up and say, "Hey, I got this idea. I got this business I want to do." Sometimes you need to cut to the chase. Yeah, business, huh? Oh yeah, it's a self-employed subcon. You be your own contractor in the business. You're doing your independent contracting thing. So, oh yeah, sounds great. Now, what does it cost? It's, oh, don't worry about that. Let's just no. I need to know, what does it cost. In fact, what did it cost you? And if they're not willing to tell you, it ain't the business for you. They probably put a lot of money into it. And we all know, when we're doing business on our own, it takes 6 months to a year sometimes to see something. 2, 3, 4, 5 years before you see something. But if you know you're supposed to be doing it and you feel it in here every day, even though you got ups and downs, you fall off the horse, get stomped by the camel, terrified by the lion, you still peek around corners, get back up on your horse, which is yourself, and you proceed forward. We always want to strive to do better, to be better, to have more. But it all starts with self love. If we don't love who's in here, we cannot expect others outside of ourselves to respect and love who's in here. See, your heart truly desires a higher way of living, a higher way of being, a higher consciousness to be present, so that you see and act as your higher self. You hear and speak as your higher self. Your higher self is nothing more than the divine mind expressed in you, the divine mind planted inside of you. So before I leave today, before I leave this title with you, I'm not going to repeat it now, but I'm going to repeat it in a few more minutes. I want to give you a meditation that I'm feeling right now bubbling up on the inside of me, that you're going to take and you're going to make it work for you. And I'm going to give you a free license to change it a bit, tweak it a bit for yourself. Before I do that, though, I want to make couple announcements. There are a lot of things going on at Resonant Essentials, the group on Facebook. You need to go in there and become a member. Why? You can find out what all of us are doing, when all of us are coming on, what days we come on and share these teachings, these podcasts, so that you can get this information that we have for you. You also might become attracted to it, especially if you live here in Bernalillo County, here in the state of New Mexico. Maybe you live up in Santa Fe. Maybe you live in Belen or Las Lunas. Maybe you live right next door, down the block and around the corner. You might decide, hey, I'm in the city of Albuquerque. I want to go check out Resident Essentials. Well, where is it located? It's located here in Albuquerque on the east side a little bit, and the address is 3107 Eubank. That's Eubank Boulevard Northeast, just north of the intersection of Eubank and Candelaria Boulevard, Street of Candlelights. Candelaria Boulevard runs east and west, Eubank Boulevard runs north and south, and we're inside. If you're standing at the intersection of Candelaria and Eubank, we're on the northwest corner. When you're looking at it, there's something called the Scottsdale Shopping Village Plaza. Now, if you're coming up or driving around, let's say you're driving east on Candelaria and you're coming to the intersection of Eubank, you're going to make a left turn. And as you make that left turn, the first immediate left you can make once you go to the intersection takes you right into Scottsdale Village. You pass by Nashville Chicken House, something like that. And then you'll see a row of buildings. And that first building that you see where the cars are parked around it, that second right there, that's Resident Essentials. Go through the black door with the jealousy windows, number 34. It's open to the public. We can get readings in there. You can get Reiki. We got Amber J. She gives excellent Reiki treatment. She's usually there every Tuesday. You could come in there and meet the owner herself, Michelle Vidal. Almost said Maria. That's another M sound. Michelle Vidal is the owner of Resonant Essentials. It's an esoteric school of metaphysics. You need to come in there and find out about classes. I'm there every Saturday from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. You can go find out from her or email me at iam.circlegrace1@gmail.com, and I'll tell you how much it costs to take a Creative Pathwork Meditation Series class with me. There's lots of things going on in there. There's you can go online. Someone is Susan, I forget her last name now, but this great woman Susan, I met her years ago. She teaches tarot online. You can also come in, and usually every second or fourth Saturday there's Spirit Circle with Donna of Dominion Tarot, which by the way comes on here on Wednesdays, and she's giving you golden keys with the tarot, and she has a specific topic. And usually Michelle comes on a Monday and gives you great metaphysical insight. Well, you just need to come by and check us out. There's a lot of things that go on. In fact, Michelle just started her intuitive explosion class. There's a 6-week class now. It's up a little bit, but you need to check. Maybe you can get in. It just started last Tuesday, so you need to email Michelle at resonantessentials.com and find out, or go to the website resonantessentials.com and contact her that way. Lots of subject matter, lots of classes. We'd like to see you here if you're in the area. And guess what? A lot of these classes, sometimes you can get them online. I just don't do mine online like that. I do a lot online as it is. But you can check and connect with everybody that's there. So we have psychic fairs there every second Sunday of the month from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. Free admission. You can come in and get a consultation, a reading of some sort. I do spiritual drawings called Celestial I Am Portraits. I just want to get all that information out to you. Be sure to become a member of Resonant Essentials, the group on Facebook. You can get all of this information. You can also come to my channel. I'm there on YouTube at Circle of Grace 1 under my name, Brother Francis E. Revels-Bey, and follow and link in. You want to get this information? There's a lot out there. We're open to share it with you. All you got to do is contact us. New practitioners popping up every day wanting to get in there. So that's all I got to say. And now let's do this meditation. And it's based on the topic. Roses are red, violets are blue. But this is what I want you to focus on. If you love yourself more, then everything your heart desires becomes attracted to you. I want you to just think now. Your heart's desire holds the key to self-love. And everything that you desire through your heart shall come to you. Take a deep breath. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. and relax into the rhythm of your breathing. As you relax into the rhythm of your breathing, I want you to tune into the heart in the center of your chest, the heart chakra energy. And I want you to repeat over and over to yourself, I love you. 3 words. Repeat over to yourself, I. And the more you repeat that, I want you to feel it, because that's important. Feel each and every word. I love you. And as you feel those 3 words, I want you to know that your consciousness raises up with it at the same time. Just those 3 words alone will increase your higher consciousness. Now you're going to add another word. You're going to say, I love you unconditionally. I love you unconditionally. I love you unconditionally. And as you begin to feel the presence of those words come up through the heart center, out into the world, and back to you, you got to do more than just believe. You have to have faith in what you just said. Those words will unlock all the energetic doors around you. 360 degrees is going to let only positivity come to you. Why? Because everything your heart desires shall be attracted or attract itself to you. Why? Because you are stating it electrically, sending out a thought, and magnetically feeling it. You're feeling all like energy to those worlds. Same energy. Words become worlds. Same energy of words becoming worlds to you. You are not just believing what you are saying and embracing what you are saying, you are fully accepting those words. I can say you can tweak it any way you want, but all I want you to remember is this: roses are red, violets are blue. If you love yourself more, then everything your heart desires becomes attracted to you. It has to, because you're laying out the seed thoughts through the vibration of the words that you are speaking. And you have faith that when you lay the words out, what you're speaking is already true. In other words, we just set out an affirmation. We just laid out an affirmation. This whole title is an affirmation. It is also an affirmative prayer treatment, because you know that you and all of creation, all of the divine mind are one and the same. So whatever you are feeling about the divine mind has to be true, because it is you as well. So take that in these last 30 or 40 seconds. Do more than believe what you just said. I want you to feel it. Then you can embrace and accept it as a truth to you. Here we go, one more time. Roses are red. That's the energy. Live. It's courageous to say it. Violets are blue. You can see it in your third eye. You can see it in the world around you. Then you say, I love myself more. I love myself more than everything that my heart desires shall be attracted to me now. Not tomorrow, not yesterday, right now. Well, I'll be back next week at 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. That is 2 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for another opportunity to share this podcast, Clear Blue Radiance. I'm Brother Francis E. Revels-Bey. I am the host here of Clear Blue Radiance and the owner of Circle of Grace One, and I work through Resident Essentials. This is Resident Essentials YouTube channel. Come back by here as often, see some of the other videos you didn't see before. You can come to my channel and see some of mine. Become prepared so you can open up and learn, and do ask us questions. We love receiving your questions. We love to help you learn more about yourself. All right, until next time, my grace is your grace. I always like to say that along with this phrase. Remember that divine grace is a blessing as we are alive and well in the age of remembrance. I look forward to seeing you soon.